Today, for the very first time ever, we're on the TrueOffMyChest subreddit, and to say that I'm excited for this is an understatement. I get the feeling these are going to be super fun to read and also concerning, and yeah, definitely seem like the perfect fit for the channel. And yeah guys, thank you for being here, I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope you have a wonderful time. Enjoy guys. I'm getting married in 2 weeks and I'm totally screwed. I literally need to get this off my chest. I feel like I'm going insane. My fiance, Sarah, 28 female, and me, 34 male, have known each other for about 6 years and engaged for 1. Our wedding is scheduled to take place in just 2 weeks, and I just witnessed something that's making me feel like I'm making the biggest mistake in my life. Tonight, Sarah and I were taking a rare opportunity to relax at home. Sarah was in the kitchen making dinner while I was out back working on one of my projects. We live on acreage and I'm building a fire pit in the backyard that we're planning on using this fall. Anyway, as you do when you're doing heavy labor, I get thirsty and I come back to the house to get a drink, where I see Sarah at the counter preparing dinner and talking on speakerphone. I recognize the voice instantly as my brother-in-law Marty. Now, this is where my brain gets totally twisted. Marty asks Sarah where her sister Evelyn is, as he's been trying to get in contact with her and she's not answering text messages. And I hear Sarah say to him, she just left here, she should be home in half an hour or so. It should be noted that Evelyn is Marty's wife of 5 years. I have to admit, I didn't immediately register what she just said because I went to the kitchen and grabbed a glass and asked Sarah, what was all that about? And she responds, Marty was looking for Evie. I see her text and I ask her, what are you doing? And she says, I'm texting Evie that Marty was looking for her. Anyway, I pour myself a drink, I sit down, I have a sip, and then finally my brain starts to work. First off, I heard Sarah tell Marty that Evelyn was here. Evelyn was not here, and the last time we saw her was yesterday when she came over to work on some last minute wedding decoration stuff with Sarah. Secondly, why is she texting Evelyn and expecting a response when I distinctly heard Marty say that Evelyn wasn't answering text messages? Lastly, why the hell would she tell Marty that Evelyn should be back in 30 minutes? Unless she either knows where she is, then why did she lie? Or she is right now in front of me texting her to tell her to get her butt home quickly. The only conclusion that I came up with is that Sarah is lying to Marty about the whereabouts of her sister, Marty's wife, and is probably warning Evie that Marty will expect her home in about half an hour. I then spent probably 5 hours concocting various explanations for this behavior, some decent, some downright horrible, and playing them back in my head. I wanted really badly to ask Sarah about this, but at the time, if what I think is going on, then I doubt I'd get a straight answer, which brings me to about an hour ago. I woke up at around 1 AM to use the toilet, and I couldn't resist the urge to check Sarah's phone. We both know each other's pin, so it wasn't a difficult thing to do. Anyway, I grabbed the phone, retreated to the bathroom, and unlocked it, and yup, it was what I was afraid of and probably what most of you were expecting. Sarah's sister Evelyn has been having an affair for about 6 months with a co-worker, and Sarah has been helping Evelyn cover it up for almost that entire time. There are literally hundreds of texts between them discussing it, discussing the co-worker, discussing horizontal mumbo stuff, really embarrassing things about my brother-in-law, and probably uncharitable, just stuff that makes my stomach churn. And here's my soon-to-be wife going along with all of it without batting an eye. I took some screenshots of the entire thread, put the phone back where I found it, and then retreated to my home office to find myself here typing it all out on Reddit, simply so I can avoid the primal scream that wants to come out of my mouth right now. I am totally 100% screwed. Reddit, I cannot marry Sarah. I just can't do it. I can't think of any reasonable excuse she could offer me about assisting her sister in this affair and victimizing not only Marty but their 2-year-old daughter as well. On the other hand, myself, my family, Sarah and her family have all sunk enormous amounts of money into a wedding that's supposed to happen in around 2 weeks. There's no way we're getting any of that money back. And on top of that, I feel like an absolute fool. Like, how did I not know this woman was like this? And what the hell am I gonna do? I can't marry her. I absolutely can't. However, I still want to. She's beautiful and fun and kind. And I thought we had a bright future ahead of us. She's never done anything wrong to me, but I just can't see her the same now. It's like a big black stain on an otherwise beautiful picture. I just don't know how the hell I got this so wrong. And I'm absolutely dreading doing what I know I need to do. I feel like I want to vomit or break something. Edit, guys, you don't need to convince me to not marry Sarah. That's obvious. The wedding is off. I'm just trying to figure out my next steps and to work up the nerve to do it. There's an incredible amount of pressure on me from the expectations of everyone, but I'm not gonna buckle under it. I just am not relishing having to deal with the fallout, and I'm more than a little angry that I'm in this situation. Edit 2, it's 5 AM, I have work in 3 hours and I'm running off a couple of hours sleep. I'm gonna take a shower and head into work a little early to avoid Sarah and stew on this. Thanks to the supportive people here, and a big raspberry to the deal holes who kept saying I should figure out whatever good reason my soon-to-be ex-fiance had for this garbage. Edit 3, I got into work around 7. No one was in the office, so I decided to start pulling off the band-aid, and I called my brother. He lives in Australia, so he was still up after having just put his kids to bed. It was hard breaking the news to him about this, because I know he's laid out a huge amount of money for flights for him and his family to come. But to his credit as an older brother, he didn't mention it one time, and he just backed me up. He made a great point too. He said, totally paraphrasing, you work in a job where you have to deal with liars and scammers day in and day out. I don't blame you for wanting to have somewhere to go where this isn't a concern. He was totally right about that, and I get now why I'm reacting so strongly to Sarah's participation in this deceit. He also had a great idea. He was going to take his family down to Florida to do some sightseeing and visit the parks. Well, now the kids will be accompanied by their uncle as well. It should be easy since we're going to honeymoon there as well, and we were planning on meeting them for a bit anyway. I'll just rebook everything to be closer to him and his family, and I'll offer Sarah's ticket to either my sister or another family member. I haven't had time to read everyone's comments, but I have answered a few right now. I'm just sort of making myself sick by drinking cup after cup of coffee and trying to distract myself until the day gets on enough where I can reach out to Marty. Edit number 4, just did morning stand-up. My stomach is doing flip-flops from drinking about 2 pots of coffee since I got in here so early, and I absolutely cannot focus and concentrate. I feel like I can't do anything really from my side until I tell Marty, so I'm just going to take a sick day and drive over to his house and see if he's around. If not, I'll call him and I'll track him down. Marty is a teacher who's on break right now, and Evelyn works a 9 to 5 like me, so odds are good that this will work out. Wish me luck. Edit 5, I got to Marty's house a little later after 10 a.m. He just put his daughter down for a nap, and we had a long, frankly brutal talk in the kitchen. Basically, he suspected this for a couple of months, but now Evelyn has been very good at covering her tracks, obviously with the assistance of Sarah and a couple of their mutual friends. I unfortunately do not have all 6 months of text messages, just a couple of dozen screenshots I sent to myself from Sarah's phone, but I gave him what I have and I offered to help him however I could. I'm a field analyst in the SIU department of a mid-sized insurer specializing in workers' compensation fraud, so I know a few things and a few people. Anyway, I'm now working from my laptop in my almost brother-in-law's kitchen, trying to salvage whatever I can. I'm going to talk to Sarah this evening and get the word out as fast as I can to my friends and family, now that I know I won't screw Marty over. So far, I managed to rebook most of the honeymoon, although I had a problem with the ticket because Sarah was flying under her maiden name, and our carrier has a surname rule for name changes. Anyway, they did allow me to cancel and get a partial refund and rebook to my sister, who will be accompanying her 2 brothers and nieces to Florida in a couple of weeks. I'm holding off on cancelling the venues until after I talk to Sarah, because I don't want to tip anyone off until Marty gets his chance to confront Evelyn, but I will absolutely be letting my family and friends know this afternoon sometime, and beg them to keep it close. I'm basically in a frenzy right now, cancelling stuff I can cancel, and I'm heading down to the bank in a few to open a new account and getting my bills and pay sorted out. The finances, some people have mentioned them, but it should be pretty good. The mortgage is in my name since we were not married and I have the bigger income, but Sarah did contribute about 20k versus my 60k towards the down payment. I will have to probably pay her out that money and some portion of the mortgage payments for the last 16 months, but it could be worse. P.S. How come so many are confused regarding brother and brother-in-law? Edit number 6. I'm going to go silent for a while. This post has already been circulating around TikTok and has gone way beyond what I first thought it ever would when I was freaking out in the middle of the night. First off, I want to say something here. I do not hate Sarah. I don't approve of what she did. I frankly find it repulsive, and I'm shocked by uncovering how two-faced she can be and how she treats people, but I don't hate her. I'm just incredibly sad about everything, and the I'm screwed part of my post is really the short time frame I have to work under. Basically, our relationship is in a state where I cannot get married to her, but we're supposed to get married in 2 weeks. Maybe if we had 2 months, or better yet, a year or so to work through this, my approach might be vastly different, but I don't have that luxury. I have to move now. There's just no way I can enter into marriage with the state of our relationship that it's in now, so I'm not going to. End of discussion today, guys. Anyway, I'll report back later tonight with how everything today went. Hopefully, it'll be less traumatic than I'm anticipating. Edit 7. I have no idea how long a Reddit post can be, as I've never written such a long one before in my life, so I hope this goes through. It's about 8:30 p.m. right now, and I'm writing this from my buddy's house. His name is Mark, and a former co-worker of mine that is also in the same field of work. As I mentioned in a previous update, I work as a field analyst in the SIU department of a decent-sized insurance carrier. For people who don't know what that is, I'm basically a private detective. My job is to investigate what we think might be fraudulent claims in regards to workers' compensation. Anyway, as I kind of hinted at, Marty asked me for my help in finding out who the other guy was that Evelyn was cheating on him with. All we had to go on was a name. Let's call him Jake. The first thing I did was not some major amount of sleuthing, but it was basically just going through LinkedIn trying to find the guy through Evelyn's connections, but that brought up nothing, which I thought was strange. Marty had told me that Evelyn was supposed to go out for drinks tonight after work, and that she said that she wouldn't be home until around 9 or 10. He didn't have to tell me what he suspected since I pretty much understood right away. I told him that I would help him, but he needed to come with me. I then contacted my buddy Mark, explained the situation to him, and had him agree to meet us later in the day. The first thing we did was drive over to Marty's parents' house so that they could watch their granddaughter. I don't know what Marty told them as I waited in the car. After that, we went to Evelyn's place of work. It's one of those large commercial strip mall type centers with all these nondescript offices in a row and a large non-gated car park. We drove around until we found Evelyn's car, and then I had Marty unlock it with the second set of keys. I then gave Marty a voice-activated recorder and a GPS tracker to place in the car. Once done with that, we left. We parked a bit down the street and we waited for my friend to arrive and for Evelyn to leave the business. Mark shows up about 20 minutes later, hops in the car with us, and around an hour after that, Evelyn comes out of her office with her two girlfriends and a tall, younger-looking man with sandy blonde hair. They're obviously holding hands, and I'm like, damn, Evelyn, you're making it easy for me. I take a couple of photos from the car, and then I wait for Evelyn to leave in hers, and I start tracking her. At first, I thought she might go right to a hotel or something, but she didn't. Instead, she drove to a reasonably nice bar and grill in a nice section of town and parked on the street. I drove by her as she was getting out of the car and entering the establishment, and then found my own parking spot and went over the plan. First, we sent Mark in since no one knew him. He had basically two jobs. First, try to get any compromising pictures he could of Evelyn and Jake, and second, to be my alibi. Marty and I waited in the car for around 20 minutes until I got the first in the series of messages from Mark. They were pictures of Evelyn and Jake making out in front of their two female co-workers. Marty's suspicions were right. They were helping Evelyn hide the affair from him. He was obviously very upset and angry. Evidently, one of the co-workers is married, and as a couple, they were good friends with Marty and Evelyn, both of them having toddlers around the same age. I asked Marty if that's enough for him, but he says that he really wants to know who this guy is. I try to tell him that we can find out later, but he's practically begging me at this point, so I tell him to wait. I text Mark that I'm coming in, and then I enter the bar myself. The first thing I see is Evelyn and her crew laughing and drinking at one of those tall round tables near the front window as I enter. I stop for a moment, pretend to be surprised, and then call out to Evelyn. Evelyn, hi, what are you doing here? She's obviously shocked to see me, and everyone around her tenses up immediately. Evelyn quickly introduces me as her sister's fiance and says that we're getting married in 2 weeks. There are a lot of congratulations from everyone. I thank them, and then I stick out my hand to the blonde guy, and I introduce myself with my full name, hoping that he'll respond in kind. He does, and I'm a bit taken aback. He's not named Jake. I introduce myself to everyone else, and then I tell Evelyn that I'm here to meet a co-worker. I wave to Mark, and then I excuse myself. Once I get over to Mark, I tell him the guy's name, and we both whip out our phones and go to work. It doesn't take us long to find him. He's got social media profiles and a couple of court case judgments against him. Everything sort of falls into place when we find out that Jake is his middle name. At this point, I'm basically just grateful that Evelyn isn't cheating on Marty with 2 different co-workers. Turns out that Jake is 26, married, and has a 1-year-old daughter. This just keeps getting better or worse. Anyway, I text Marty the guy's name, and I decide I want to push my luck, and I tell him to wait a few more minutes. Basically, I'm playing babysitter here at the bar. I'm totally visible to Evelyn and her crew, and I can see out of the corner of my eye that no one is particularly happy about this, and my presence is really ruining the night. This is good. I let this go on for about 10 minutes, and then I tell Marty to text Evelyn that he's going to spend the night at his parents' house with their daughter. It doesn't take long after that until I catch Evelyn taking out her phone, showing it to Jake, and then everyone decided to pack up. Evelyn comes over to me, says goodnight, and asks me if Sarah and I want to come over for dinner this weekend. I smile and I say that sounds like a great idea, and I wish her and her co-worker a good night. Mark and I wait for them to leave. Then we pay our bill and we hurry back to the waiting Marty. There's a bit of hesitation here because we don't know exactly what Evelyn was going to do. Like, I half assumed that she might have already booked a hotel room and was heading there, which would have made everything a lot more complicated and limited what I could do. But it turns out that tonight was probably meant to be just drinks at the bar, and it wasn't until Marty decided to spend the night at his parents that it turned into something more. Evelyn made a beeline for home and we followed behind her, way out of sight, and we parked down the street. It didn't take long until another car pulled into Marty's driveway, and we saw Jake get out, go to the door, knock, and be greeted by Evelyn, and they went inside together. Now, at this point, it's about 7:30 and I have my own stuff to do tonight, and I think that as a friend, I've done pretty much all I can do for Marty, and he can handle the rest himself. I mean, I feel bad for the guy definitely, but I don't want to get any more involved in this drama than I already am, and being the wingman for him while he confronts his cheating wife is a bit much for me considering my situation. Marty says it's fine, that he'll do the rest of it himself. I guess he's more of a man than you thought, Evelyn. He goes to Evelyn's car, retrieves my gear, and we bid each other goodbye. That was almost 2 hours ago. I did get one message from Marty saying that it was done, and he was going to his parents' house, for real this time, but my phone hasn't been blowing up, so I don't know what's been going on with Evelyn, and I've been at Mark's since then. I think that basically concludes my part in Marty's story. If he was smart and listened to my advice, he was recording with his phone when he entered the house. I'll find out later. Anyway, my biggest priority now is to head home and tell Sarah that the wedding's off. She almost 100% is going to take it badly. There's no way that she won't, but like I said, I just can't get married to her right now. I don't know what the future holds for us or if we'll be done with each other or not, but definitely we're not getting married anytime soon. Also, for people who keep saying, why didn't you talk to her first? Why didn't you confront her? I have to say, are you people stupid? She stone cold lied in front of me to her brother-in-law that she's known for about 10 years and purportedly thinks is a really great husband and father. Maybe you were naive enough to think that someone can lie that coldly to someone that they're supposed to care about and then tell you the truth, but I'm not wired that way. Until that moment, I never had cause to ever second guess Sarah or not trust her, but she was literally untrustworthy in front of my face, and I'm supposed to let it slide or expect her to be honest with me? I guess you don't know what it's like to have your entire view of someone shift in an instant. It's disorienting and frankly a bit panic-inducing. I'm actually impressed I kept my head and I followed my instincts instead of pressing her right away because it led me to the truth. It would have been ridiculously easy for her to lie to me and then delete those text messages, and if she had done that, then I would never have read the horrible things she said, never seen how she can be so duplicitous and two-faced, and never realized how little I actually knew about her. I'm going home to talk to Sarah. I'll update later to let everyone know what the final verdict is. Don't expect it to be a good one. Edit 8. Well, I had the talk with Sarah last night. It was pretty insane. I'm honestly burnt out and still exhausted even though I took another sick day and slept in until almost 11:45. Sleep deficit is real. I know everyone is thirsty for updates, but as much as it is therapy for me to write them, I'm absolutely drained. And as you may have noticed, I don't know how to be short. Just call it a character trait from my profession and the endless amounts of minutia-filled reports I've written. I will give the TLDR and I promise to do a proper update later. Long story short, I came home to talk to Sarah about cancelling the wedding and found her comforting Evelyn on the couch. I almost turned around and walked out, but I didn't. Words were exchanged, tears were had. People got really angry and the cops were called. I collapsed and I slept for like 10 hours and my phone is practically glowing from the heat of a bajillion unread messages and missed calls. If it vibrates anymore, I'm going to take it to Evelyn's office and charge $10 a minute to sit on it. Stuff is really up in the air. I have a lot to do today. My family already knew what was going on by yesterday afternoon, but I need to contact some friends today and get a move on other things. I'm just going to answer a couple and then bug out for a few to get some stuff done. First, I am not James Bond. I'm the guy that follows around the disabled construction worker to his Zumba class or skydiving lesson. I've been doing it for about 5 years and I'm pretty good at it. Nothing I did went beyond a $50 GPS that you can buy from Amazon and a tiny bit of social engineering. You might be surprised how far social engineering can get you, but whatever. Second, I'm off the clock on the mysterious case of Marty and the Hobag Hobgoblin. Whatever Marty does with the info he has, including contacting the other wife, is on him. I'm not interjecting myself into this mess any more than I have. Marty is a good friend, but I have my own little world collapsing right now. And now that I don't have my moral indignation to distract me, it's becoming a bigger burden than I would have been letting on. Third, I am not an aspiring screenwriter or novelist. I do, however, write a lot of reports. You have no idea. Most of my life is actually spent hunched over a laptop writing a report or transcribing statements. For every hour I spend doing field work, I probably spend 10 doing paperwork or research. Fourth, you are right that I was wrong to leave Marty to go in alone. I didn't have any fear, not even an iota, that Marty would do anything stupid, but I didn't properly take into account the risk to him. That's a personal failing of mine. It's not that I don't care, I just tend to estimate that other people handle things like I do, and hence Marty was doing something that I would do, so I didn't question it like I should have. I know this is a problem of mine and I'm working on it, but I'm also not in the best place emotionally, so my EQ was low in this situation. And last, people saying you don't know the whole situation. What if Marty was an abuser? Nobody. You don't know the whole situation. I do. I read 6 months of text messages. I know why Evelyn did what she did. I know how she feels about Marty. I know how my ex-fiance played along with this. I'm just not sharing it because it's vile, but I know, and it played a huge part in how I've acted in the last day and a half. Trust me, if Sarah had done something, anything other than encouraging and egging on Evelyn, we'd all probably not be here, but she did, so we are. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll try to update again in the next few days with the whole fallout, but I'm probably going to be mostly off Reddit for now. Best of luck to everyone, and thank you all to the people backing me up. It meant a lot to me and helped me keep me sane. Well, some semblance of sane anyway. Edit 9. I tried posting an update to this subreddit under a new post because it's freaking huge, but AutoMod keeps exceeding it. Unless the mods decide to recover the post, you can just check out my user profile for the next part of this messed up saga. Whoa, oh my god. Okay, I now understand this subreddit. Wow, I don't even know what to say. There are more updates to this, so if you guys want to see me read that, let me know down below. But yeah, that was obviously super long, so I won't read it in this episode. But yeah, let me know down below if you want me to read the updates. I don't even know what to say. That was a roller coaster. Can't even imagine how this situation would have felt. Yeah, wow, that was wild. My stepson called me dad in front of his friends. I've been with my wife for 4 years. She has a 12-year-old son from a previous relationship. He's never hated me, but it's obvious that he misses his dad. He's mainly just called me by my name. I don't necessarily like it, but I would never force him to call me dad. Today he wanted to go with his friends to an amusement park, and he asked me to come with them, which already made me so happy. So of course I said yes, but when his friends got in the car, there was one of them who I've never met before, and he introduced me as his dad. I started smiling when he said that, and I think he noticed because he looked at me and rolled his eyes while laughing. Right now they're trying to win a big prize at the park, and I'm still smiling. I know this isn't huge or anything, but this is genuinely one of the happiest days I've had in a while. Oh, that's so beautiful. Congratulations. I can already tell we're gonna make a lot of episodes on this. I'm gay and my wife doesn't know. My wife and I have been together for 9 years, married for 7, but I know that I'm gay. I've never been attracted to another woman other than her, but I've been attracted to lots of men. I've never been in a sexual relationship with a man, but if I wasn't with my wife, I know I would be. My preference is when I'm by myself. I've only ever been over men, lol. But it's strange. My wife is my soulmate in the most absolute sense. It doesn't matter that she's a woman. I'm so in love with her mind and her heart and her as a human being that she could literally be in any body and I would love her and worship her. Even being with her sexually is incredible because it's her. I know this makes no sense and that's why I can't tell her. She would think that she isn't enough because she isn't a man, but she's the other half of my soul and I could never hurt her or be without her. I think every inch of her body is beautiful and she lights me up like no other human ever could. She completes me and I know I won't need to be with anyone else, but I know no one will believe that. Is it possible to be gay except one woman? If so, that's what I am, lol. Edit, I realize now I'm probably on the bisexual spectrum somewhere and I'm content with that. I don't really need a label. Oh, and to those calling me a pervert, a degenerate, a fetishist, etc. for being attracted to men, I suggest that you try replacing the hate in your heart with love. It worked out very well for me. The top 2 comments say, labels are so pointless at the end of the day. You're attracted to men and you're over the moon for your wife. Just loving her is most important. And then the original poster says, you're right, I think I've worried and I've psyched myself out over the label. When actually, I guess that's pretty unimportant if I never want to be with anybody but her anyway. I view sexuality as a spectrum. You might be bi in that you're 99% gay and 1% straight, and your wife ignites the 1%. As long as you're happy with your wife and she's happy with you, that's what matters. Yeah, and it was so beautiful the way they were talking about their wife. Like there's a lot of love here and you can tell. Okay, I feel like that's enough for today. That was unbelievable. Let me know down below if you want to see more of this subreddit, guys. It's wholesome memes time. I just introduced a kid to her adoptive parents. They brought her a dozen roses. We met at a restaurant. I arrived early to get a private booth and I told the waitstaff what was up, so all the servers were having a cry in the corner. I'm at a coffee shop a few miles away giving them space and having my own cry. Adoptive mum clarified to me later, roses were pink because pink means forever. What's more important than the roses though, is they also brought her a luggage set so she wouldn't be moving her things in garbage bags. The luggage matches theirs because it's family luggage for family trips. And now the rest of us are crying too. God, that's so beautiful. So heartwarming. From the first day of kindergarten to college move in. Thank you, Dad. Oh, that's so cute. The dad just went from shorts to pants. For real though, that's so beautiful. The posts are very wholesome today. I don't tweet often, I only have 12 followers, but today was my final chemo session and I want to tell everyone, well, 12 people at least, well, congratulations, that's bloody awesome. And also that has 963,000 likes. So many people are happy for them. Hell yeah. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did, you know what to do. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. And the comment of the day goes to Mabel Skies. Hey Vincey, first time commenting here. I'm currently sicker than a dog with a sinus infection, and your videos have helped distract me from feeling terrible. I hope your day goes well. Oh, that's awful. I hope it gets better super soon. I'm glad the videos can help a little bit, but yeah, hopefully you feel better super soon. And yeah, thank you for the support. That means so much to me. And thank you all for the support, guys. We have so much fun in these episodes. They're an adventure every single time, and it's so awesome that you join for them. Let's do it again tomorrow, shall we? Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!